Thank you, Anthony. I'm Alex, an addict alcoholic. Um, my sobriety date is December 21st, 2020. I have a sponsor. I sponsor other guys, and yeah, I'm just very grateful to be here. Thank you, Anthony, for asking me to speak. So I'm just gonna share my experience, strength, and hope. Tell you how it was, what it was like, and what it's like now. So I'm Alex. I'm from New Jersey. Um, I was adopted from Guatemala when I was 9 months old by my two moms. And this is kind of where it really starts. Both of them were sober at that time, but one of them, she relapsed. So I kind of went back and forth, really, because they ended up getting a divorce. And um, all throughout my life, I was getting like two sides, really. The one mom who was sober, she has 35 years now. So I'm hearing from her like how alcohol and drugs messed up her life. And then the other mom who relapsed and is still out there, I still pray for her. But her really not caring what I did, So they ended up getting divorced. And that's where I feel like my addiction really started. I feel like my first addiction was being dishonest. That is something that I've always done, and thought I would never overcome, really. I learned how to manipulate, lie to get what I wanted, or to get out of things. And that's really where I started getting in trouble, really. But growing up, I feel like um, being a doctor, I always had to like prove myself. I felt like that, coming from this third world country, from this great family, that I needed to be the best at everything, if it was school or sports, whatever. So I really just tried to fit in, with anybody who, I thought, would take me in. So that, it started going well in middle school, but then I started looking up to, the bad kids, you say. I wanted to be like them. And I couldn't say no to anything, to anybody really. Um, I had a low self esteem and I just wanted to be liked, because I was very fearful as a kid, being judged, not being accepted, just being alone, really. So I feel like all my actions were based off of fear. So, like I said, when I was growing up with the sober parent, they never had any alcohol in the house. So I always would sneak out and go and see these kids who I wanted to be in a group with. Um, and just to clarify anything, I have used other forms of alcohol, but I'm referring everything to drinking or alcohol, that I keep it in the cup. But yeah, I started drinking with them, telling them whatever, partying with them. I think eighth grade. I thought I was real cool. They liked me. We were, just meeting other people. I felt like, I was really accepted, because I had friends, but not the friends who I thought, were cool, really, even though they really were. I wanted to fit in with this other group. So that's when I really started drinking, summer going into freshman year of high school. And then obviously I got caught. I wasn't really good at sneaking around or lying because I'd always, get caught in a lie or, caught in general. So when my parents found out, they shipped me off to Catholic school. They thought that would whip me into shape, really, And of course, I didn't want that, because I finally made friends that liked me, but I'm pretty sure they were just using me. I was using them too. But those couple weeks before going into high school, I really, I just tried every way to get out of it. But then something came over me. It was like, this is a new school. No one knows me. I can go in, being whoever I want to be. And of course, I went in as that bad kid, really, you know, someone who I was used to look up to. I wanted to portray that image. So I quickly found out that I looked older than I was, so I could easily walk into liquor stores and buy drinks for my friends. So I got that, and all the friends, started coming in. But again, they were fake friends, using me. I was using them. So I felt like that's when I first had, like that power, really. Um, just something I've been, looking for, just being that guy and trying to fit in. So, and that's my alcoholism just, really took off and drinking every weekend. It started on the weekends, but then it really started to go into the weekdays. Because I was switching back and forth from the sober mom to the not sober, and started at the not sober moms because she didn't care what I did, so I was out at all times of the night, drinking vodka on the weekdays, and it was just going downhill. My grades were slipping. I started not enjoying the things that made me happy. All I cared about was drinking and portraying that image of somebody who I wasn't. So that went on sophomore year, and then junior year, I tried to stop. I never, my mom never told me about AA. I used to go to meetings with her when I was young, but I had no clue what was going on. I really was just going for the snacks. So I felt like they uh they didn't think they knew I was having a problem, but I didn't see it that way. I thought I was just being a high schooler, just experimenting. But the way I was drinking, it was a problem drinking, and so there was times where I was dry, couple weeks, couple months. That was just because I kept getting in trouble, or drug tests or whatever. But there was one time I really tried was when I got chosen to be captain of the wrestling team. And wrestling was something that I really enjoyed, from when I was little, and something I really, you know, tried to give 100% into. So I wanted to be my best self, show these guys that I could be a leader. So I did that, and that only lasted, a couple of weeks into the season. And I started drinking again, and yeah, just all like that. And it got to a point where even my friends thought, I had a problem. They were commenting on how much I'm drinking, or it's a Tuesday night, you're drinking a handle of vodka. Um, they're worried about me, and I was just like delusional, really. I made every excuse in the book, like saying like you're drinking alone, and I'd be like, no, like my cat's in the room, just anything to like feel like I didn't have a problem, you know. So I just kept getting in trouble with my parents, getting caught at school. I started like selling alcohol at school because I thought I was that guy, Almost got getting expelled. Um, if I got suspended one more time, would have gotten expelled, but I stopped doing that. And then I started really getting in trouble with the law senior year. I got arrested for the first time the beginning of senior year, and even then I got let off with I had to do a program, prevention first. It was a couple days out of the week for like a month, and they thought that would help. But obviously I didn't drink then, and the first minute I got off of that, I was back to drinking, and that just went on, like that. And it really, I just felt awful, like I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I just couldn't stop, and no one could tell me like what I was doing was like hurting me, because I felt like I knew I was hurting myself, but like, why did everyone else care? It's my body, I can choose what I want to do. But, I didn't see how I was hurting all my friends, all my family, just ruining everything, relationships, holidays, birthdays, vacations, I always had to mess up something. And I didn't see that, and obviously I didn't put alcohol as the problem. It was always something else or always someone else's fault. I never could take accountability for any of my actions. So that kept going on. And then I got arrested for the second time, the end of senior year, right before graduation. And every time I got in trouble, I never, opened up about it. Like I never told them like, hey, I got arrested, I need help. I always let them find out on their own. When the court papers came in the mail, if my grades came in, whatever it was, I could never be like be a man about it. Um, so that happened. I ruined my graduation, all that, and after that, my parents they were worried about sending me to college. I got into college, and but they went against their better judgment and they sent me. So I went to Kutztown, Pennsylvania, and they dropped me off and they said, we're giving you another chance. We hope you make good decisions, find better friends and, just to succeed. And as soon as they dropped me off, I was trying to find the first person who could buy me alcohol, so it was right back to it, it was drinking away, not going to class, wasting my parents' money. And it was until COVID hit, you know, I started, I went home and my parents really kept seeing how, worse and worse my alcoholism was getting, because I was trapped with them, for the quarantine. And they just kept pleading with me, to stop or to go to rehab, and I just said I never needed it. I can control it, and if you can need to control something, it's a problem. That's what my mom said. And then, yeah, I really just uh, started stealing money from them, money from other people, writing myself checks just to buy alcohol, because that was my only love. That was the only thing I was excited about to wake up when I wanted to wake up. Because there were days where I prayed, that God didn't wake me up. That was the only time I prayed. If it was for that, or if it was to get me out of trouble, you know. Um, and then there was this one day I got really drunk. It was like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and I hit my head. I fell in the pool. My parents, thankfully, they found me. If they were like a little late, like I could have died. And that was where like my parents said, "You're going to rehab." There's no talking your way out of it. So I went to my first rehab, June 20, 2020, and I was like a straight A student in rehab, you'd say. I told people what they wanted to hear. I was participating in groups, I was doing whatever. But I knew as soon as I get out, I would be back to the same way. I didn't, I still didn't think I had a problem. I was in denial, I was selfish, and I let my alcoholism get the best of me. So I got out and I had to go to IOP. And I'd say I stayed dry for 4 months. I started working a program, but I just I didn't feel like I could do it. I didn't want to do it. I got a sponsor, I bullshitted him. Um, I say I go to meetings, I just sit out in my car or go meet other people. When my parents said, stay away from these people, they're bad for you. I'd go and see them, and I was just miserable. Going to online school, just working. And then I just knew like right as I get out of IOP, I'd start drinking again, and I couldn't wait. So um, I had like 2 more months until I was out of IOP, and I just couldn't wait. I went and I drank, and I thought like, oh, I only drink for a week. I could right before I was about to buy it. I only drink for a week, and after that, I'll be try to get sober again. But as soon as I took that first sip, I went out and bought more. So it went right back to where it was. Then I started stealing from work, not going to school, not going to work, crashing my car for the second or third time, and yeah, just went right back to the old me. And of course, that was right around Thanksgiving. I ruined that, and I told my parents I relapsed. Well, no, obviously I didn't. They found out because I pissed dirty at ILP, and they got that sent home. So they found out, and I told them I'd try again. So I was dry for like another week or two, but then picked up again, and then that's when I went to my second rehab. And even going into that, I really wasn't ready. I really didn't think I had a problem, but it really was. Like I needed to drink at the end of that, like to function, to get up out of bed, really, just to be happy, even though I wasn't happy. You know, um, and at that point, I wish I could stop drinking, but I physically couldn't. So it was hell. I wanted to kill myself every day. I didn't have the balls to though. So that's when I prayed. Don't wake me up. Because then at that point, I knew I was hurting everybody around me, not just myself. And I wanted to take the easy way out. But I went to rehab, and going in there, I didn't want to be sober. But something in me, a couple days in, was like, do you want to live the rest of your life like this? Like, and it wasn't just drinking uh, or using drugs. It was also like just lying, manipulating, because it was scary what I was capable of doing, making up stories on the spot to get out of things, or just lying. Even though my parents knew I was lying, I just kept lying to their face because I couldn't admit I was wrong, or I was in trouble. So I really didn't want to live that way no more, and that's when I really started praying, like, for help, because that was something I never did, ask for help. Because I put that image in my mind of what a man should be like, independent, strong, never show emotions. And that's what I did. Until that night when I like finally asked for help, anything, because I didn't believe in a higher power like I do now. Just anything, uh, just needed guidance really. And from there on, I really started opening up, being honest, something I never did, being honest about how I was feeling, what I want in life. And, I was really doing good. And my counselor there brought me in, and he said, your parents emailed us, saying you're doing really well. They're proud of you, but I'm not allowed back home. And I never thought that happened. They always threatened, like, oh, you do this, you do that, we're kicking you out, we're taking this, you're never getting this. And I've had billions of chances and that never happened. So of course I thought this would just be another, threat, but they were serious. So I found this sober living house in Long Branch. I'm from like Central Jersey, and I was gonna go there, and then my parents told me about this structured sober living down in Ventnor, New Jersey, like by Atlantic City, and I was worried about going. I never been in a sober living environment before, and but I said, I was willing to do anything. Like you can be ready to do anything, but like, are you actually willing? And I was willing to do anything to be sober because I wanted to better my life. So I came down here, and it was like a whole 6 month program. It could be longer or it could be shorter, but I did it in 6 months. And from right there, I got a sponsor, started working the steps, and started doing everything my sponsor told me to do. Even though I didn't want to, I did it because I wanted to have a better life. And so I started praying, found a higher power, started being open, honest, open minded, and willing. And that's where, my life started to change. I could, I was open about how I was feeling. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be on, uh, where I'm at right now. So I kept doing that. I got a good job, and then I moved into Oxford House, which I'm in right now. And I really just started getting involved, going to getting a home group, having commitments, helping others. That's really what I needed to do. And I finished the steps, and I got a sponsee. And I was nervous, because I never had like that accountability really, or responsibility over someone. And so yeah, we did that, and I'm still taking them through the steps. And I got another one, and yeah, it really just showed that I could be that leader who I wanted to be, because I was always a follower, really. So now I could be that leader, or that like not just like someone you could look up to, really, because I looked up to my sponsor, and to show that it really like it gets better. Like everybody always said that, but I didn't know it was true until it actually happened. So um, yeah, it kept. I was myself, really, something that I never was before. I was the real Alex to everyone, whether they liked it or not. I learned how, like, self love, really. That I don't need drugs or alcohol to have fun or be someone else. Really, I was the real me. Started helping, started taking advice, and that's where I'm at now. I got a good job. I have a good house, um, sponsees, a sponsor, and I'm happy. Most importantly, I'm happy. I have goals that I'm looking forward to, but it really is a day at a time thing. And I'm only 20 years old right now. I never thought I'd be here. Like that was always like, oh, I'm 20 or I'm 19. I need this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is prime time, like drinking, all that. But I could never handle it. I always took it to the next level. So I'm gonna close with, for anyone who's newly sober or young, anybody really. Um, I always said to my sponsor, like, how am I gonna do this for the rest of my life? Go to meetings, call people, be sober. And he said, you don't have to do it for the rest of your life. You just have to do it for today. And that stuck with me really, like all the time. Like there's 24 hours in a day, you just got to get through it. So there's 2 more hours left of this day. Whatever happens tomorrow happens tomorrow. But for right now, I'm sober, and I'm happy. I'm grateful to be here. So that's all I got. I'll keep coming back. Thank you.